It's episode 195 of Vegas Revealed. Monday's Dark is celebrating 10 years of giving back and live entertainment in Las Vegas.
We sit down with the host and creator, Mark Shunock. This episode, we fill you in on what he has in store for the 10-year celebration that's taking place at the Palms on Monday, December 11th.
We also talk entertainment, sports, F1, and favorite Las Vegas places.
That's this week on Vegas Revealed, plus a big shout out to our sponsors, HOTWORX Infrared Fitness Studio and the Vegas Near Me app.
And a shout out to our subscribers. We appreciate each and every one of you.
All right, let's do it now.
Spin that wheel. Welcome to Vegas Revealed, episode 195. Sean McAllister here, along with Dana Roselli. And Dana, we're in a new setting this
I know,
week.
I feel like so cozy, sitting back on a couch. Usually we're in a chair.
It's nice, isn't it?
This is a little hard because I gotta stay focused and up and
My
upright.
posture is going to crap this week. I don't care.
Well, welcome everyone. Listen, we're doing things a little bit different today because we are interviewing our friend Mark Shunock, who has been here in Las Vegas for a very long time. We've been here a little longer than Mark, so we were here for your big arrival. Like when you were born into Vegas.
That's right. Rock of Ages days.
Yeah. So Mark was in Rock of Ages over at the Venetian for a long time. You have a resume that's like this long. Right now, you're the MC for Top Rank.
Yeah,
is MC
host.
the right title?
It's a good word. Host.
Yeah.
I do all the press conferences, weigh-ins, and all the ring announcing for Top Rank. Spoiled.
Yeah, and you do all the entertainment for the Golden Knights games. You're great. We see you up there and getting people to really crank it to open up the games and all the the in-house entertainment. The list goes on.
Yeah, and by the way, we are coming to you this week from a studio inside of the Space here in Las Vegas. It's an entertainment venue that Mark created. Gosh, how long has it been now?
We are going to celebrate, I think, 8 years of existence here at the Space. And this is just something that started to come together as of late. It's a podcast studio in the back corner of the facility. So to have you guys here is really special for myself and our entire team at the Space, who's here helping record this episode.
Yeah.
Before we even get into it, like the way you started it actually made me feel like goosebumpy, because Vegas is special, and you guys have continuously supported everything that I've had my hand in, whether it's, like you said, Rock of Ages or the Golden Knights or Top Rank or Monday's Dark, the Space. You've always supported. You've always allowed me to come on your platform and talk about what we have going on, and so this is such a cool moment for me. So thank you for coming here and allowing us to talk all things. It's special. You guys have been rock stars in the community since day one, and I've been here 11 years now. And so 11 years ago, when Rock of Ages opened, you guys were the first ones to say, hey, Shunock, come on, get over here.
Yep.
And this is awesome. So thank you.
Of course. Yeah, I remember having Mark, and I'm sure you do too,
Absolutely.
in studio when we were in full-time TV, and I remember being at the first Monday's Dark. So, and we're going to talk Monday's Dark. We've got so much to talk about. You're having a special 10-year anniversary celebration of Monday's Dark, and we want to get to all that, and we're going to explain what Monday's Dark is. We had a couple things we wanted to talk to you about, though, before we get into that, just because it is F1 weekend when this podcast drops, and you are so heavily involved in the sports community, so we wanted your take.
What is your take on having... this is another global sporting event that will have the eyes of the world on Las Vegas. What is your perspective?
It's pretty remarkable, in my opinion, what's happened over just the last 6 months, let alone the 11 years I've been here. Like you said, F1 is global, and it's a market, it's a fan base that I don't think has experienced Vegas in the way they're about to experience Vegas. Yes, there have been some hiccups and some... I don't know how you call it for us locals, some frustrations, headaches, but I think it's just another piece of the pie that makes this city so special, and I am so excited for the week ahead. It's unbelievable. Like they're running out of room at the airport. As much as that's a headache, that's a kind of a cool problem in my book. I'm an optimist, right, at heart, so I try to look at the positive of all the things. There's a lot of negative comments on social media right now about the F1 week ahead, but I think the reward will significantly outweigh the negative, and I hope that it will get easier and easier every year, because this is a 10-year deal, so it's not going anywhere. So hopefully it gets easier on us who call Vegas home, and they work out the kinks.
Well, I know Dana is of the same mindset.
I am.
She went on Instagram the other day saying, come on, all you naysayers. Put it to bed for a minute and just find a glimmer of positivity.
Yeah,
It's
I
like
think that's important.
every social media post is negative, and I know it's been frustrating, especially for people who work on the strip. You know, I get it; they're in and out and work, but it's like, okay, we're going into F1 week. Let's see what happens. Let's see what this is like. I have a feeling we're all going to have chills once this is over, and we watch, whether we're watching it on TV, in person, and we watch this race at 10 p.m. Pacific time on Saturday.
Yeah, you guys know better than anybody. Those who work in television are just magicians, right? And they are going to make that race look sensational in Las Vegas. So yes, it may be a little cumbersome or a little clustery for us, but what we see on television for years to come, or just even the days preceding the event or after the event, it's going to look incredible. And these cars whipping down the strip at 200 miles an hour, and they're passing by the Bellagio and those grandstands that were built. Yes, they are ugly grandstands, but they will not be there forever, and the strip will go back to looking the way we're accustomed to it looking. So I think it's well worth it, and I can't wait to see the community of F1 supporters roll into town. Spend all that money, baby. Go to those restaurants, go to those shows, rent those rooms, book those rooms, spend the money in Vegas. We need it, you know, and that trickle-down effect, I think, is going to, we're going to feel it.
And we're going to have to give up, you know, like locals are, well, it's not for us. It's like, well, we're going to have to give up a weekend to have all these new people and get eyes on Las Vegas, and then hopefully others can go there. And I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I think we'll just have to see how it goes. And I never even mentioned, when I did that post on social media, the amount of response I got in direct message. I was shocked. Everyone's like, the response was I had dozens of messages of people saying, I'm excited about it. And I'm like, well, where have you all been? Like, where is everyone? Unless you're just not in my algorithm. I don't know.
Yeah, there's been a lot of naysayers, but that's okay. You know, there's haters, right? Haters gonna hate.
Always. And they're the loud voices, too.
Yeah, that's okay. You know, and it's okay. I think it's a sensational thing for the city. Pro sports has taken over, as you guys know. We are now known as the sports and entertainment capital of the world. And it's the best of the best. I'm so proud to call Las Vegas home. I've been here 11 years. We have the best restaurants, the best shows. We now have championship-winning sports teams with our Aces and the Golden Knights. Hopefully the Raiders can get us a Super Bowl. And, you know, Major League Baseball and the National Basketball Association, they're right around the corner. So to have F1 come here and put Vegas as a stop for the next decade, that says everything that you need to know right there about the city. And I've been a big proponent of, when I talk about Las Vegas, it's not the buildings, it's not the restaurants, it's not the resorts, it's the people. So the reason why F1 is here is because we have amazing people who call this city home and make it go. So forget being negative. If you look at it in that sense, F1 is rewarding this city because of the amazing people who make it go. The people at the top making these decisions, these are great people who call Las Vegas home, and they've busted their ass for all these years now, and now we're getting a premier sporting event that's not just North American based, it's global. This is global stuff, you know, so I'm really excited for it.
Well, I'm curious, you grew up in Canada. In Ontario, right?
Yes, sir.
So you were just north of us.
In Rochester,
From
New York.
Rochester, New York. Is car racing big in Canada?
If you can get out and shovel the driveways and the roads and throw some salt down, yes.
Get the chains on the tires?
Unfortunately, I think the racing that I was privy to as a kid growing up was a snowmobile racing around a track that was around a couple trees. You know, so no, we didn't have racing. Sports in Canada revolves around our Canadian pastime, which is hockey. You know, you're born with skates on, men and women, you know, boys and girls. Everybody plays the game of hockey. And don't forget, you know, I think sometimes, you know, I've been in the United States 25 years now. People forget that the entire population of Canada is essentially the same as the population of California. You know, there are about 33 million people who live in Canada, and they all live within a 100-mile radius of the U.S. border. After that, it's a little tundra-esque.
It is. Gosh.
But hockey is our pastime, man, and that's why, you know, when I was doing Rock of Ages and our owner, Mr. Foley, said, hey, I want to bring a pro team here. I cold called his office. I've been working alongside Bill Foley in some way for 9 years. Our team is celebrating its 7th season. I was on that Vegas Wants Hockey committee 9 years ago, helping bring a pro NHL franchise to Vegas.
And then you're part of a Stanley Cup. I mean, witnessing that must have been, we know what it felt like just watching it, I mean, and being a part of it, but you being in there, I mean, that must have just been incredible.
Yeah, I was able to bring my dad out and two of my older brothers. You know, I'm the youngest of 5. My parents are still amazing in their early 80s. So my dad came down, 2 brothers came down, and hockey's been a part of our family for as long as I can remember. My father was a dentist by trade, but in the 80s acquired a hockey team in our hometown, the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds, which is a junior hockey franchise. He was able to save the team from being relocated and bought them from Phil and Tony Esposito, which are hockey legends who played in the National Hockey League but are from my hometown. And so hockey's been in our DNA as a family forever. And so to have that come full circle as a Broadway kid who then started working in sports, to being on the ice in Game 5 and having the chance to witness the Stanley Cup be hoisted by a team you work for, it was a pretty special moment. And it's something that we won't forget as a family. You know, having my dad there is something we'll never forget.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah,
that's an
it's
amazing
remarkable
moment to be able to have. And then you were out there hoisting the cup on the ice too.
It was crazy how it happened. You know, I was on the ice doing interviews, and producer in my ear just said, "Hey, Shunock, you're wrapped." So I'm just standing out there like a kid in a candy store, watching players skate around with the trophy, and wives and families and coaches and trainers, and then sure enough, one of our trainers had the Stanley Cup, and he saw me standing there. He yells, he goes, "Shunock, you're next." I don't remember who I threw my microphone to, but there was that moment where I grabbed that cup, and I'm like, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
You know, it was amazing because I was facing where my family was sitting, and I could see them, and they could see me. It was just, again, like I said, it's a moment that you can't explain. And it's something that I'll just remember for the rest of my life. I wanted to hoist it as a player. You know, as a kid growing up in Canada, that was always my dream, to hoist the Stanley Cup as a player. But this is pretty close. It's pretty cool.
I mean, you've gotten a lot in 10 years. A lot has happened in your life. I remember being at your party for your citizenship over at the Hard Rock. That was a great party, by the way.
Yeah, that's right.
That was a fun night, but I remember that happened. I mean, and just so much has evolved, and you've made Las Vegas home. You could have stayed in LA, right? But you decided to move here and make it home because you loved it so much. And you've really just, I mean, done so much for the community and charity. Charity is something that's important to you. So you're out there working, you're hustling, but we have a lot of organizations in this town of ours outside of the Strip that do a lot of good things. And I know what was big for you when you started Monday's Dark was giving some publicity to some of the smaller organizations, right? Yeah,
you guys know better than anybody, too, that Vegas is red carpet happy, right? They'll roll out a red carpet for the opening of Applebee's in Summerlin. Team behind the window is like, "Shunock, if you use that joke one more time, we're going to turn the lights off." But it's the truth. And as a performer at the time when we first got out here, we were in Rock of Ages. I'd have to go to the dressing room at 5 o'clock, put the mullet wig on, the goofy T-shirt, and they'd drive us to a charity event. And because we had a show at 8 o'clock every night, all we would do is walk the carpet, take a picture, and leave. And that was my introduction to sort of the giving scene in Vegas when we first got here. And I was like, this is bizarre. I can't even stay for your party or your event, your gala. I have to go back and do a show. So why am I doing this? Why am I to be honest, I hated getting the costume on, having to go to work so early and go to this event that I didn't even know anything about. So that's why my wife and I started Monday's Dark. The name comes from the fact that it's traditionally dark on Monday for the Broadway shows. So we didn't have a show on Monday night. And so I just started meeting all the entertainers in town and saying, "Hey, if I threw a party on Monday night, would you come and do what you do, which is perform? I don't need you to walk a carpet or put your costume on. You're going to come and sing something that you never have done before or something new that's not in your show, and let's raise money and give it all away." And here we are celebrating a decade of doing that. We've thrown 181 parties. We've never repeated a nonprofit. Each charity gets $10,000. We've raised over $2 million with various events that we've hosted outside of Monday's Dark here at the space. But Monday's Dark specifically has partnered with 181 nonprofits, and they've all received $10,000 and a bunch of awareness, like you said, the smaller groups. And today we have a wait list of over 300 waiting for a Monday's Dark party. So it's crazy.
Yeah, it really
Crazy how it's grown.
It really is.
And I mean, I remember when you first had your first Monday's Dark, and I've been over here for several shows. Over the last 10 years, what are some of the standout moments for you? Because I know things can get crazy up on stage.
That's a great question, and what's awesome is our entire team has been going through archives, and we're brainstorming ideas for our 10th anniversary of what to share. One thing we will share at the 10th anniversary, and I think this will resonate with you guys, our first or second Monday's Dark ever was at the Hard Rock. Robin Leach was a big supporter of Monday's Dark, right? And, we miss him dearly. Just like you guys, he was so supportive of everything entertainment-based in Vegas and just wanted everybody to be successful. He understood that if you had the drive and hustle in Vegas, the city would embrace you and support you. And he just lived that. So when Monday's Dark started, I asked Robin, I said, hey, would you do something for me? I got this idea for a segment. And we don't do this segment anymore, but Craigslist was very popular when we first started Monday's Dark. And on Craigslist, there's a missed connections posting place where you can go on and say, hey, Dana, I saw you on the bus last Tuesday. I'm not sure if you're going to see this, but I really should have asked you out and I didn't have the nerve. So if you see this, I was the guy in the baseball cap and the black t-shirt. Message me. And so it was this whole thing on Craigslist called Missed Connections. And so I would read a missed connection as part of the show. I would find really either
good
raunchy ones or whatever. And so we would read them. And so one show, it was like the first or second show, I said, Robin, would you do me a favor in your beautiful accent, in your most famous lifestyles of the rich and famous, will you read this misconnection for us? So up comes Robin Leach on stage, sits in a stool. We hit him with a special spotlight. He's in the dark. Kenny Davidson is playing beautiful underscored music. And he goes on to read this misconnection of a guy who accused a woman of breaking wind, or farting, as you will, in the bread section of Trader Joe's. And she's wafting ciabatta bread. And I'm not doing it justice because I don't have Robin's beautiful accent.
Oh, yeah, it's great.
But we have that footage. And we've pulled it, and we're going to re-air it at the 10th anniversary event in honor of Robin helping us establish what is now household in the philanthropic community. We might not be household to the general public, but if you work in nonprofit or charity work in Las Vegas, you've heard of Monday's Dark.
Yeah.
And it's those little moments that, when I look back on 10 years to see how far the show has come, first of all, like just the structure and format and the crew and the amazing people who volunteer their time to make it happen, there have been some pretty funny moments. There's been some, I've had too many drinks at various Monday's Darks. We've had guests get up on stage unannounced. We've had puppeteers show up. And it's just been awesome to look back on the decade of what we've done. But that's one moment that, is special to us, especially in the industry that we're in here in Vegas as, entertainers and hosts and personalities. Robin was such a big part of that, and we're excited to put that back up on the screen.
That's
in
great.
December. Yeah.
Well, and that's what I was saying. I mean, when somebody might be listening to this, and I just want to backpedal a little. Monday's Dark. It's on Mondays when shows are dark. You have performers come and put on a show. You usually have a theme. It's $20 to get in the door.
Yeah.
Just because we kind of never went over. And then if anyone doesn't know that, and maybe you're visiting in town and you're here on a Monday, I mean, just saying Robin Leach, to us we're like, oh, Robin Leach was our buddy, right? But he's known all over the world.
Icon.
I mean, you could have rubbed shoulders with Robin Leach, but many other people just pop in. So it's an event where you never know who's going to show up too.
Yeah, you're speaking the language, and that's awesome because you've got it, right?
Yeah.
And that's just us 10 years in town doing it. It is essentially, for people listening who have never heard about it, it is a 90-minute variety show every other Monday. You never know who's going to show up. It's $20. 100% of the ticket proceeds and the silent auction go to a different nonprofit every other Monday. And we've had the likes of Shania Twain, Brad Garrett, Louis Anderson's another one who's no longer with us, who did comedy for us. Geechee Guy, who's a local entertainer who just recently passed. It's unfortunate that I've referenced three amazing entertainers who are no longer with us.
We've lost a lot of people over the last 3 years.
We've lost a lot of people. But you never know who's going to show up. It's adult, it's off the cuff. It's it's Carol Burnett meets Jimmy Kimmel meets Saturday Night Live with a full band.
Yeah.
And that's what's cool about Vegas, right? Is people are coming through this town all the time, so you never know who's here. And I feel, even though we're like 10 years old, we are 10 years old, I feel like we're just scratching the surface. And there's so much more we can do to help this great city. Because to have 300 nonprofits on a wait list and have already supported 180, that says a lot about how many amazing people in Las Vegas are committed to a cause of some sort, right? That's a lot of great giving people living in Vegas.
Yeah.
And a big need. Like I'm like 180 charities. Like we have them for a reason. There's a need out there. That's for sure. So, and tell us about the 10-year anniversary for folks that want to buy tickets and go to the Palms. What kind of are you going to kick it up a little bit? It's going to be a little bit more special than normal, but kind of normal.
It's always we try to do the best of the best. For the 10th anniversary. There's a lot of business that has to get taken care of, but it is a true variety show. We're leaving the space because obviously we want to celebrate and get as many people into a room as possible. So the amazing people at the Palms who run that organization, run that resort, have opened up the Pearl Theater for us, which is a gorgeous. It's one of my favorite venues in town. The technology in there, the intimacy of the feeling of it. We're going to have 2,000 locals in the building. 42 local nonprofits will be represented. So we partner with 21 charities a year. We're going to celebrate the 21 charities from 2023, and we'll announce the 21 charities for 2024 that night for the first time ever. It's $20, and all of the money will go towards the productions of 2024. So this is the only time of year where Monday's Dark does a fundraiser for itself. So we partner with 21 charities a year. We give away, over $200,000 in cash every year, a bunch of awareness. But this is the year, or this is the party every year where we celebrate Monday's Dark, celebrate the team, the volunteers, all the charities. There's a huge auction. There's a live auction component, which we normally don't do. And the show itself will be bananas.
Yeah,
we have some of the best shows on the Strip represented. We can talk about a few that have, the folks from Cirque du Soleil have committed to be present.
Great.
The folks from Spiegel World are going to have a presence. Two amazing shows that, one that I was a part of for a little while, Magic Mike Live, will be there. A brand new burlesque show called Ladylike from Virgin will be there as well. And then a ton of entertainers that have donated their time and talent time and time again here at the space. They'll be there. We started with Rock of Ages. I've got a little Rock of Ages surprise up my sleeve.
Is the mullet making
Tom
a
Cruise?
comeback?
Oh, I thought Tom Cruise was coming.
Let's give him a call. Hey, Tom, if you're watching, if Tom Cruise is watching, or if somebody knows Tom Cruise, we want Tom. Bring a motorcycle to the Pearl.
Jump off the building, whatever you got to do to get in there. Parachute in.
So we try to always, present the best of the best, or not necessarily the best of the best, but just we try to heighten the whole overall experience, because a lot of people come to this one more so than the smaller events throughout the year. So I always tell our team it's almost like a coming out party for us every December, because we get this opportunity to preach out to 2,000 people and to those watching on the stream. So we live stream it for free. So a lot of eyes get put on it because it's a well publicized, marketed event. It's our 10th anniversary, so it's a big one. So we want to do some special things.
I love it.
So a decade in, you've obviously lived the experience of growing Monday's Dark from the ground up. What does the next decade and beyond look like for you guys?
I think it's continuing on the mission of giving. Everything we do at Monday's Dark and the space starts with the core value of giving back to the community. So nothing takes place at the space that doesn't have some sort of give back to the community. I say this a lot in my meetings. 50 million people come to Las Vegas every year, and they have a wonderful time. They get the best service, the best experiences. Who's responsible for serving those who serve? And the space and Monday's Dark wants that responsibility even more. So when the tourists leave, and there are pit bosses and dealers and servers and entertainers and wardrobe and professionals and first responders and veterans, everybody who makes that strip go and actually has a say in how those 50 million are treated, the space in Monday's Dark wants the responsibility of making sure we're doing our part in taking care of those who serve. And you guys fall into that category for what you do with your show and promoting all of the things you promote. who looks after you guys when times are tough or if you need help? That's what the space and Monday's Dark wants to do even more moving forward. So we have some things in the works that are expanding our programming, expanding our reach to our nonprofit partners that are, I think, going to be really well received by the community. But that's kind of our new sort of internal conversation and dialogue that's happening now, is that the space in Monday's Dark really wants to be at the forefront for serving those who serve. And that's a wonderful thing to talk about in Vegas, because we are so service oriented. And I think sometimes we forget about the 2.5 million people who live here. They need help just like everybody else. And when I was just doing Rock of Ages and I was just an actor on the Strip, it was my job on stage to make people forget about their problems for 2 or 3 hours when they walked it. Well, not 3 hours in that theater, but when they walk into that theater and the lights go out, my job is to make them forget about the BS in their life. We need to do the same thing for people who live in and breathe Vegas. And that's really the next step for us. And we've got some cool things that we'll talk about in mid-2024, hopefully. Fingers crossed we get our stuff together in time that we can make some formal announcements by mid to late next year.
We'll come back around and be waiting for those announcements.
100%.
And we'll have links and everything in our show notes if you want to get tickets, you want more information about Monday's Dark in general, the 10th anniversary, any of that stuff.
December 11th. I don't even know that I said the date, but it's Monday, December 11th at the Pearl Theater. Doors at 7, show at 8, 2,000 people in the room. Where am I looking? Right there.
Yep.
Come. $20. All the money goes to charity, and it's all about Vegas on December 11th at the Palms.
You've been a part of the entertainment community, which has switched into sport. I'm curious your takes. We don't get to sit with a lot of people who've been here kind of as long as we have. And seeing things evolve, what do you think of the changes in just Las Vegas entertainment on the Strip and for our visitors that come in? The entertainment's changed a little bit. Now we've got more... I don't know. We don't have a lot of medium-sized shows. We only have, big residency. I mean, what is your feeling on some of this stuff?
I would agree with you.
Yeah.
I think, our entertainment lineup right now is headliner-based, which is fine. I'm not going to complain.
Yeah.
Like, you can go see a different mega star every night of the week here. But I'm starting to see a little bit of what you were just hinting at creep back in.
True.
Major properties putting a little more attention to smaller rooms, developing smaller rooms, even lounges and areas of major resorts are starting to get programmed again where we got away from that. Yeah. So I think that's a great sign, because I don't think, everybody can afford to go see U2 at the Sphere. Yeah. I haven't even been there yet, and I looked at tickets and I was like, oh my gosh, they're $2,500.
Right.
That's a very specific clientele, right?
Yeah.
That's a very specific fan base going to that show. So I'm starting to see the smaller show start to pop up, and it's not so much a show as it's an experience. There's a lot of immersive stuff happening, and so I think we're on that trajectory where we're going to start to balance out again, where we are going to have all these mega stars. But it's a great thing. Like even Kylie Minogue, who is now taken over the Venetian, that's actually our old showroom. Yeah. And that just shows you how long it's taken the Venetian to figure out what to do with that room. That room kind of sat dormant for 6 years. They did a couple things here and there, but for 6 years after Rock of Ages closed, there wasn't really a residence in there. But now what they've done from an investment standpoint to the room is they've taken what once was a 2,000 seat proscenium traditional style theater to this really cool, immersive, intimate venue that doesn't seat 2,000 anymore, and it's gorgeous. So I think you're going to see more of those things start to pop up. Listen, even Circus Circus is getting a redo. So
they're getting the SpongeBob ride.
Let's go. Like when they announced Circus Circus is getting an what did they announce? $1 billion renovation.
Yeah.
I'm like, let's go. Like that. If there was a property on the Strip that needed $1 billion renovation, it's that one. But I'm excited to see, because again, there's a different client base, right? But now they're going to experience a brand new vibe of Circus Circus. That's cool.
And I think you buried the headline with the Kylie Minogue stuff.
Right.
You know, transforming that space where you performed. You essentially paved the way for Kylie Minogue to be in Las Vegas.
Seriously.
That's right. You've heard it here
You
first.
heard it here
On
first.
Vegas Revealed.
It's true.
Rock of Ages was responsible for Kylie Minogue coming to Vegas. No, I love what they've done with that room. The pictures that I have seen so far are absolutely stunning. I can't wait to go see that show.
Yeah.
I know,
Can't
us
wait.
too, us
Yeah.
too. We've seen a lot, and that's one we haven't seen yet.
Yeah.
So, hey, listen, we do a segment where we give tips every week. So we're gonna do that, but you're gonna stay here and you're gonna help us with our tips. Okay.
Okay.
So let's do some tips.
Okay, so Mark, the premise of this segment is that we offer insight to all of our listeners about places that they should go that are off the beaten path, ways to get around Las Vegas a little easier, ways to save a buck if that's even possible
How to get
these
something
days.
free?
Yeah.
People like free stuff.
So, if there are any tips that you have for people who are ready to come and do Vegas.
Do you have any like insider tips? I was thinking something for you. You probably go to the airport a lot. Do you have any like?
Definitely get TSA pre-check and clear. I'm on about 8 flights a month. So yes, my air miles are great. Get pre-check and clear. My tip would be to anybody coming to Las Vegas that's not from here to venture off of the Strip. We have so many incredible restaurants owned and operated by local chefs that have really made Vegas a culinary scene unlike any other, and I don't think it gets the credit it deserves. And to just drop a few names: James Trees, Gina Marinelli, Mark Marone, Brian Howard. So La Strega in Summerlin is one of my favorite Italian restaurants. Sparrow and Wolf on Spring Mountain, Brian Howard, one of my favorite restaurants. Super Cash, Graffiti Bow, Mark Marone, amazing restaurant. Esther's Kitchen, downtown, James Trees, one of my favorite restaurants. So my tip for people not from Vegas coming here that are staying on the Strip, get off the Strip and see what makes this city so special outside of that pocket. One of the best little things that I always use, because when we did Rock of Ages, people were like, do you live at the Venetian?
Oh my gosh.
You know, you guys get that, I'm sure, a lot. Do you live at Caesar's Palace?
Yeah.
Caesar lived here, right? Caesar Palace. Go see the neighborhoods that make this city what they are. You know, Henderson's incredible. The southwest pocket of Vegas is booming.
Yeah.
Summerlin's gorgeous. So go off the Strip. That's my tip.
Yeah, I love that. And you know, I don't know why, just because you were a little funny there, it made me think.
Just a little funny.
Just a little fun.
Work on that, would you?
Sean and I.
Keyword little. You were funny, but
Well,
just
no,
a
I'm
little.
getting something really complimentary here.
Little.
Hold on, let's wait. Sean and I MC a lot of events, but we have kind of like, you know, people know us as like on TV. We have to be a little nicer. But I must say, I just want to mention that Sean and I have also been at many events at UMC. And every time we leave, we are cracking up at how funny you were. So, and I love a little raunch that you throw in, because I think it makes the crowd that might be a little stiff open up a little bit more. And we can tell, because we're kind of in the same business, of what you're trying to do. And I love it. So I just want to kudos to you.
Thank
Some
you.
of those charity events, you know,
They're rough.
they're formulaic, and
Yeah.
you really shake it up. So you're a great MC.
That's why we get asked to host them, right?
Yeah.
Because the people putting on those events know full well that they are putting on a stale charity event. And that's not what we do here. That's not Monday's Dark. Monday's Dark is off the cuff. It's adult. It's listen. And at the end of the day, what's my job? My job is to get you to open up your pocketbook and make a contribution to whatever wonderful cause we're all gathering for to support. So yes, when they auction off a dog on the live auction and I make the joke, congratulations, you're now going to have to replace all of the carpeting in your home. So your $15,000, $20,000 live auction bid on a golden doodle was great. Now you're spending another $50K on hardwood in your home. It sort of takes the edge off, and people feel as though they don't have to be so stuffy, right? Like I'm just a firm believer, if people are comfortable in their environment, they're going to be more willing to give and support the cause than if they feel like they have to put on a face. You know, they're in their tux or their suit, and it's like, no, that's not who I am. And I think that's why I get asked to do these events, because they know full well that I am going to crack a joke to somebody in the crowd that I may know, and hopefully they write a bigger check because of it.
Yeah.
Do you ever surprise yourself with anything that
Oh yeah.
you end up saying?
Yeah, and I regret it. Yeah, and that's
Things just come out.
And we live stream all of our Mondays Dark events, right? And so I had to tell Miranda Lopez, who handles all of our social and our streaming, I was like, the minute the show is over, delete the stream. Because in today's day and age, I don't want people pulling something I said out of context that will come back to bite me later on. You know, everything we do is in jest. It's quick. It's goofy. But it all comes from a genuine place that we're just here to support this organization and help. The last thing I want to do is say something that would offend somebody in a way that would turn them off to a point where they get offended. That's definitely not what we do. We definitely push the envelope. But that's why we delete after we're done.
My favorite was, there was an auction going, and Mark was like, to all the guys, you know, everyone whip out your phones and, you know, let's start bidding, open up your browser, close your private browser. And then he's like, you guys all know you have one. And I was like, I don't know why it made me laugh so hard.
Because you have one too. That's why. Yeah.
I was laughing so hard. I was just like, because there was a silence that then they were like,
it was kind of like a Gitchy Guy joke where you throw the grenade and you wait for the punchline to end, but everybody kind of, oh, now I know why. Yeah, for sure.
Good
One of the
stuff.
best compliments I ever got in that same regard was the governor's black tie.
Yeah.
You know, those guys do such incredible work with
They do.
their organization, right? The Olympic companies. And when you hear governor's black tie, that sort of screams a certain vibe. And it's not at all this high-end, you know, stuck-up event. There's usually a country star that comes out and performs, and everybody's in hats and chaps and boots. And so the reason why they keep asking me back now is because I've sort of helped elevate the casual side of this event that raises so much money. And the minute they feel at ease, man, I wore a huge cowboy hat to the last one, and I made a joke. Somebody give me $1,000 and you can have my hat. In real time, on the spot, somebody called out, I'll give you $1,000, and I tossed my hat. So there's no rhyme or reason.
No.
The whole point is just to help and give back. And if we can laugh about it and have a good time, even better.
Awesome. Well, listen, thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate everything that you do for the Las Vegas community. We appreciate you welcoming us into your space.
The space.
Into the space.
This place is yours whenever you want it.
Okay, good to
So
know.
come on
Good to
back
know.
and please. I think I'm putting it out there publicly. When you celebrate your 200th episode, you should do it live in our big room with an audience in attendance, and we could throw a big party for you.
We've got 5 weeks to prepare.
I know.
Let's go.
Well, maybe we just take a break for a week and then we move it into the new year. Maybe 200 could be in the new year.
Whatever you guys want, we're here for you.
We
I'm
need,
just, like I said, honored that you took the time to come to our home and you brought your show here. It's really a cool moment for us, so thanks.
Thank you. Listen, it's been such a joy chatting with you. We don't get to do it as often because we're all busy, right?
it's
So
all
just
good.
Next time we want to catch up, we'll just say, come on the podcast.
Let's do it. Done.
All right. Well, listen, thanks everyone for watching and listening to Vegas Revealed. We hope everyone has a good Thanksgiving.
Absolutely, and we'll see you back for 196.
We wanted to let you know that HOTWORX Infrared Fitness Studios is still offering to waive that $99 enrollment fee only when you mention Vegas Revealed. We have a list of all of the locations down in our show notes.
And there are so many benefits of working out in an infrared sauna. Really, it's endless. We had a friend sign up recently, and she's absolutely loving it. She sent us a big thank you.
And it is food season. The holidays are here. You're going to be adding on your stress. You're going to be adding on pounds. That's why you need to get your HOTWORX on now.
It is open 24/7, which I love, and it's only $59 a month for dozens of workouts. You really can't beat it. Some people are paying that just for one infrared session at other places. The virtual instructors guide you right through your workouts in your own infrared sauna. You book in the app, and you have your own code to get in. It's more workout, less time.
All of the studios sell supplements too. You can find detoxes there. There's a brand new one they're excited about called Power Gummies. They're gluten-free, sugar-free, and have collagen, plant-based vitamins, MCT oil, and apple cider vinegar in there.
Love that. Also, if you're a member, join the Thankful to Thrive November contest. That's always fun. Join HOTWORX now, and again, get that $99 enrollment fee waived if you mention Vegas Revealed.